UDL serves for the general purpose of making learning accessible to more students in inclusionary programs. The idea is that with modifications of representation, expression, and engagement, the students will respond to curriculum and teachers can include a much wider range of students in a typical classroom. Modifications of instruction used in UDL can make lessons appropriate for a wider range of students. It is vital for teachers not to overlook the importance of designing lesson plans that are able to include a greater variety of students.
One of the principles of UDL is engagement, or the why of learning. The goal is to create learners who are purposeful and motivated. To start, it's important to know your students and what works best for them. As an educator, you need to reach all students in the classroom. Encourage students to make their own choices and take control of their learning. Connect materials to things your students are interested in and things that are meaningful to them. In the classroom, help students create classroom and personal goals. Motivate your students to reach those goals. A few ways to motivate students are to include games, food, movement, music, and sometimes allow the students to lead the class. Mix up the way your classroom runs. Sometimes have students work in a group, other times individually, and assess students in different ways. Another way to promote purposeful and motivated learners is to create a safe classroom environment. Lastly, have students reflect back on their goals, what worked, what didn't, and what they want to improve on.
Another one of the principles of UDL is representation, or otherwise known as the what of learning. The goal of representation is to allow same information to be given out in different forms, such as vision, hearing, or touch, whether it may be having to read out loud a book to them, show a video, or through other media like audiobooks or text that could be enlarged, or sounds that may help them fully understand the information taught in class. This would especially help students with disabilities. Presentation is different forms of learning styles should be implemented in schools more because the students will be able to better understand what they are learning if they have the opportunity to learn through their own individual learning styles or learn which learning style best fits them. Lastly, the principle of UDL is action and expression of the how of learning. The goal is to allow the students in the classroom to show how they understand through different forms besides paper, such as text, speech, drawing, illustration, design, film, music, dance and movement, visual art, sculpture, or video, as well as now at this day and age with the various uses of technology, being able to use social media and interactive web tools as a form of discussion in the classroom, allowing students to use whatever material they want to display their understanding of the material shown in class truly allows them to show what is going on in their minds to then transfer onto a creative platform.
UDL is important for many different reasons. The first reason is that it is extremely important to allow students to reach their full potential by providing all students with anything they may need to enhance their learning. Another reason that UDL is important is because it allows for flexibility in the classroom and understanding of all students. These two things are essential when implementing UDL. Here are some specific examples for each UDL principle. For representation, some students may need visual or auditory lessons, and others may need printed text. In many cases, the teacher must be flexible and adjust the lessons to fit all students' needs. For expression, if a student cannot express themselves in a speech but can in written text, it is important for the teacher to make adjustments to the lesson to allow the student to reach their full learning ability. For engagement, allowing students to relate to the assignments either through culture, personal relevance, or any other factor will keep students engaged and excited about the assignment. In conclusion, UDL is extremely important in education. It serves the general purpose of making learning accessible to all students.